definitely very nervous today, and which is shocking because I absolutely love public speaking. So my name is Violet, and from the bottom of my heart, I have to thank Helen and Kathy who put this together, and I will be so forever grateful. So I'm not a doctor. I'm not a surgeon. I mean, Dr. Violet Tarabay does sound really good. And my bank account would have looked a lot different than it does today, but, you know. But having said that, in all honesty, the way that I feel when I have the ability to restore just a little bit of confidence for these incredible warriors, no amount of money could ever make me feel that way. The thing about being a tattoo artist, a permanent makeup tattoo artist that provides these women with this incredible treatment is unfortunately unseen and oftentimes unknown. And so you don't see it, right? We're covered. You can't see my nipples, you know? But it's there, and it's something that really makes women feel whole. And I can't say that from personal experience, but I can say it for women that have come to me, and I've been able to just give a little bit of that back. And that's 3D restorative areola tattoos. And I'm so grateful that for some reason I was called to do it. And I've done eyebrows and lip blushing and all these wonderful things, but this is the one treatment that just makes me feel a way that I can't even put into words. It's a way that allows women to feel full again. And what I do may seem like it's at the end of the journey, but it's not. It's actually the beginning to make you feel like you again. So after mastectomy, when breast tissue and oftentimes the nipple and the areola are removed, what's left behind is, it's more than just scars. It's a silence. It's something that's incredibly difficult for many of you to explain. It's a space where it's intimate. It's feminine. And for men, because this is something that also happens to men, it's masculine, right? It's removing a part that you had no choice. It wasn't up to you. The decision was made for you. So the reconstructive surgery that's completed, it'll give you the shape, right? But your areola, your nipple, that's what gives you the identity. And then that's where I get to come in. So my work is not just about pigment and skin, although yes, it's very important. It's about dimension. It's creating that illusion. It's creating that 3D view. And most importantly, it's about emotional restoration that a lot of people don't really talk about. And so with the ability for me to create that shading, with advanced color theory, I'm able to create the illusion of a 3D nipple on a flat surface. There's no protrusion, there's no surgery. It's just ink and my artistry. And no two nipples are ever the same. So my work gives me so much purpose, and it allows me to give back. And selfishly, it fills my cup more than you would ever know. And when I meet a survivor, you take the lead. You tell me how you want things to go. If you want to talk about your experience, we can sit there for 5 hours, no problem. I got a shoulder, I got an ear, and I love hugs. We talk about whatever you want, and then when you're ready, I map you out, I shape you. We talk about color theory. We talk about what colors we think would suit you best. Heck, a lot of you are like, I didn't like my previous areolas, I'm glad to get new ones. It's something that I get to do, but in all seriousness, this part, I get to be on the journey with you. And so we measure size, we figure out shape, we create imperfect perfectness. Because if I show you my nipples, are not the same. One's like an oval, one's like a circle. But we try to do our best to make them as whatever you would like. Again, I let you lead. And I don't start until I get your approval. So sometimes I give you a mirror and you can look as I tattoo. Some people are a little OCD, they've been through so much already, they're like, nope, I need to see where this is going. And some of you say, no, I don't want to see anything, I trust you, and I just want to see what happens at the end. Again, I let you lead. This time, you're the boss. You get a say. So, when I'm done, there's a moment. I can't explain it, but it's there. And I've seen it more times than I can count. Walking over to the mirror, shoulders are up. They look at themselves. Shoulders go down. Catching of the breath. Eyes fill with tears. Mine too. And usually there's a lot of tears, but sometimes there's not. Sometimes there's laughter, and sometimes there's just silence. But every time, what's really being said is, I feel like me again. But it's not about physical restoration. It's about dignity. It's about confidence. It's about wholeness. And it's about reclaiming something that cancer took from you. And it's not just a body part, but it's a woman's sense of self. And again, also a man's, because it does happen to men as well. And a lot of people will tell me, you know, I couldn't walk past a mirror and look at myself. I didn't want to be naked in front of my partner. Hillary right here, her mother went through breast cancer. She works out, she goes to the gym. An all-women's gym, takes care of herself, and didn't want to undress in front of other women because she felt like something was missing. So some still feel like there's some kind of science experiment. And it wasn't until this final little piece was put back were they able to feel like something new was ignited, and they had that sense of self back. So the hardest part about all of this is it's often the only part of the healing journey that's not covered under OHIP or in your insurance. A medical procedure, yeah, that's covered. Chemotherapy, for the most part, unless maybe you're on a new trial or you need to travel to another province, for the most part it's covered. Surgery, yeah, also covered. But a 3D areola tattoo that gives you your self-confidence, that feeling of identity, that feeling of being a woman again, not covered. That's also not fair. So too often that's what's left behind. And that's why today matters. And each and every one of you that are here matter. And every one of you that shared your story today matters. And all of us that support the people who are up on stage matter. And whether you know somebody or you don't, we all matter, because we all deserve a chance to feel whole and like ourselves again. So it's something that should be accessible to women. We've heard before that you go through this procedure and then at the end it's like, yeah, you're great, okay, we'll see you in 6 months, 2 years, 5 years, whatever, yeah, good. But what about everything in between? That's not talked about. There's no support for that. And I really have to commend Kathy. I really do. You're incredible. Because I have the opportunity to do this, but I don't think you realize how much this is needed, because I see the reactions after. I have the ability for it to selfishly fill my cup. So I don't firsthand know what it feels like, but I could only imagine. I could only imagine. Because you don't know what you have until you lose it. And being able to give that back is probably, I mean, don't tell my husband or my kids, but aside from having kids, is probably one of the most fulfilling things that I could ever give back to women. And so I want to be very clear. This has nothing to do about being vain. I was talking to my dad. My dad's old school European, we're Eastern European. And he said, "What do you do?" I said, "Oh, you know, like permanent makeup." "Like what, tattoo?" "Yeah, Daddy, I tattoo." "Like what?" And so I explained to him. And I say, "I also do areolas." "Why?" So I explained to him, you know, after you have breast cancer. "Yeah, but nobody can see." I said, "Daddy, that has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with it. It's not about whether somebody can see or not. Us women don't walk around topless, do we? No, we don't. But it gives you something that was taken away from you. And that in and of itself is the most incredible feeling for me. So it's healing. It's visibility. And for me, it's art with soul. So I am so incredibly grateful and thankful and humbled that not only do I get to share the stage with some of the most incredible women that I have met my people, okay? I have met my people here today. But thank you so much for supporting that initiative, for being here, for spreading the word, for sharing it on social media. And that's the only way we're going to be able to get ahead and do things and to make changes, is to not stop talking about it. And we're not stopping talking about it. We're going to keep talking about it. We're going to share it on social media. We're going to use our hashtags. We're going to use our voices, because that's what matters the most. So thank you so much to Helen. Yes. And thank you so much to Kathy. I love you so much, and I'm so excited to be here and to share this with all of you. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
She walks with the story, not behind it, but because she's done hiding her power. Now her truth is enough. We rise, we shine, we show.
There's that song.
We've got